UConn women's basketball on SNY is brought to you by GMC. Visit the pros at your Connecticut GMC dealer today for a test drive. GMC, we are professional grade. By Connecticut Lighting Centers and Restoration Lighting Gallery, so much more than just a lighting store. And by People's United Bank. People's United Bank has checking choices that are right for you. Visit peoples.com or your local branch. Member FDIC. I would leave the hat on, because there's a wind chill inside the building as well as we get ready for UConn and Tulsa. And single game tickets for the defending national champion UConn women and men on sale now. Go to UConnTickets.com to get in on all the action. Starting lineups for tonight's game presented by Subaru. For Tulsa, 6-7 on the season, 1-1 in conference play. Kelsey Grovey is the shooter. Tiana Reed is the point guard. Antoinette Webster, Ashley Clark is the leading scorer. Mariah Turner right behind her on the score sheet. For UConn, same starting lineup as we've seen now for 12 consecutive games. Mariah Jefferson, Kia Nurse, Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis, Brianna Stewart, and Morgan Tuck. For head coach Gino Auriemma, 891 wins and counting, getting closer and closer to number 900. And Matilda Mossman in her 4th season, but her 12th overall as a Division I head coach, has coached in the past at Arkansas and at Kansas State. As Meg mentioned, had a nice conversation with her pregame. We'll talk about Tulsa as we go along here. But we're ready for the opening tip. Cameron Inouye, Mai Forsberg, Bob Enderline, our officiating crew. And the opening tip is controlled by Brianna Stewart. Back to Mariah Jefferson, and we are underway here at the XL. Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis, wide open look for 3, well short. The record watch is on for a 3rd straight game for Mosqueda-Lewis.
Well, I think like everybody else, she's got to warm up a little bit in here. I'm impressed at the crowd. Great crowd here at the XL on a bitter cold night.
14 outside the building right now with a biting wind as Tulsa gets on the board. That's Antoinette Webster, junior from Oklahoma City, making her 10th start of the season. Stewart to Nurse.
They're going to mix it up defensively. You see them in a zone right now.
You can see also trying to get some looks for Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis, who knocks down the 3.
Well, UConn has got to get her the ball and get her involved in the offense more than the last 2 games, certainly.
Last time out, Tulsa lost at UCF on Saturday, 76-70. They had a 10-point lead in the first half of that game. Rebounding has been an issue for Tulsa. It will be UConn basketball as we take you back to the KML3.
Well, as Coach Mossman said, pick your poison. Do you take away Brianna Stewart inside? Because then if you double her, you're going to leave Mosqueda-Lewis open on the outside. That's exactly what happened.
It's an interesting way to turn the ball over for the first time today. Tulsa averaging 16 turnovers a game. Mentioned the rebounding, Meg. They are -5 in rebounding margin. They were -16 against UCF and were beat up on the offensive boards as well.
Well, and then that led to second chance points. They were down 22-11. So when you give up 22 points on offensive rebounds, that's not going to bode well for your win-loss percentage.
Morgan Tuck. Nurse, an open 3.
And that was a phenomenal pass from Mosqueda-Lewis.
Kia Nurse, a 42% three-point shooter, puts UConn on top 6-2. That three-pointer won't go. Clark getting on the offensive glass, but got contact on the baseline with the right foot, so it's UConn ball.
Look at that. What a threat to score, to bring the defender off her feet into the air, and then the wide-open Nurse. Nice extra pass.
Tuck fills the lane, ducks under for 2. 23 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists in that win against St. John's last time out for Morgan Tuck. UConn won it 70-54, the Maggie-Dixon Classic. Tulsa breaks the pressure. We'll now try to set things up in the half court. Clark spins. Nice little move, but couldn't finish.
It's a great take. Too bad she couldn't knock it down.
Ashley Clark, a 3-year starter for this Tulsa team. Here's Stewart. Mariah Jefferson. The open looks have been there from the outside for UConn right from the start.
And that's because they're taking away the inside game, packing in the zone. Mossman said they're going to try a bunch of different defenses, 3-2, 2-3, as well as man. They're typically a man-to-man team. It's difficult when you have to come in and change the way you play defense, but sometimes you have to, considering who your opponent is.
Banking into three-pointer is Ashley Clark.
With a nice little smile on her face as she runs down court. I don't know if she planned that, but she'll certainly take it.
That stops the 11-0 UConn run. Now here's Tuck on the inside, reverses for two more.
The versatility of Tuck's offensive game is what is so difficult to contend with.
Webster, 10-second violation, UConn basketball. Let's take a look at the UConn Teamwork Replay Breakdown presented by UConn Health.
You know, everyone's aggressive, moving well without the basketball. There was Tuck. And Stewart is, as much as Brianna Stewart is known as a scorer, she's a really good passer too. There she found Tuck, who again was moving well without the basketball.
The only member of the starting five yet to score is Brianna Stewart. And I believe KML has found the range. That's her second three-pointer. She is now one behind Diana Taurasi's all-time mark at UConn of 318 career threes. A timeout is called by Tulsa. We'll take it as well. Great start for UConn here on a cold night in Hartford. Morgan Tuck working on the inside. They've had success from the outside to go up by 11. Huskies 6 of 7 from the field so far. They have 5 assists on those 6 field goals. Meg's ready to break it down in Como's Court Vision.
Well, Coach Mossman told me before the game they've got to fight and they've got to battle hard. We're not big, but we got to battle. Watch underneath when Tuck gets the ball. 23 comes over to guard her, right? So here's the problem. It's not enough to try to stop her. Tuck goes around her and she just lets her go. That is not the kind of battle that Mossman wants to see. And as they've tried to change the culture of fighting and effort and competing, that's a good example of how they're just not there yet.
She inherited a 5-win team the year before she got to Tulsa. This, as we mentioned before, her 4th season as Tulsa's head coach. They won the Conference USA title in her 2nd season there. Had winning records at Kansas State and at Arkansas. Now taking on the number 2 team in the country. We asked her, had she played a game in her time at Tulsa that could get her ready and her team ready for UConn, and they played Stanford in the NCAA tournament a couple years ago, and they were even at halftime. Out of the timeout, Caden Brady into the game, and she scores her first points.
And Mossman and Tulsa are psyched to be in this league as they get the steal there. They want to compete with the best.
I don't know if Stewart got a piece of it, but a foul is called on Tulsa as Webster picks up the personal.
This was a strange play. Did she hit it? But the foul was on Antoinette Webster.
KML for 3, and it rolls out.
Nice box out inside. Turner kept Tuck off the glass.
Clark. Jefferson was there waiting to take the charge.
Now there, it's just hustle to get back. And look at Mariah Jefferson. Great position. Got herself set. And Clark, once you jump in the air like that, you know, you're doomed.
The feed inside, Tuck. Speaking of, you're doomed. If she gets it that deep, you're doomed.
You're right. She did all the work before she got the ball. Nice job posting up. And again, another good pass, Brianna Stewart.
6 points now for Morgan Tuck.
Get low in that lane. See, she gets down there, gets the defense on her back. Nice pass to the left hand away from the defense by Brianna Stewart.
Five minutes gone by here at the XL. In deep, and with the finish is Mariah Turner, senior from Norman, Oklahoma, averaging 13 points a game.
I like the nice quick turn by Turner. And the finish with the left hand.
Brianna Stewart finishes with the left hand. Now all 5 starters have scored for UConn.
Well, and if you're Tulsa, how do you possibly stop Stewart in the lane? Their tallest player is 6'2".
And another backcourt violation. 10-second call on Tulsa, second one we've seen. Kelsey Grovey back into the game for the Golden Hurricane as Webster heads to the bench.
She's going, you got to go that way, not side to side, north, south. Go north.
Usually not something you'd say to someone when it's going to be below 0 tonight. Go north, but I understand your point.
Wouldn't we like to go south?
Last touch by Tulsa. It'll be UConn basketball.
The officials are letting them play. There's been a lot of contact by both teams. It's been rather insignificant. I'm glad they're letting it go.
Stewart over to Jefferson. The screen set by Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis, and another made field goal by Mariah Jefferson.
We'll give all the credit to the screen, as you mentioned, by Mosqueda-Lewis. Perfectly timed, perfectly executed.
Mariah is now 11 of her last 14 from outside the three-point line, all since the Christmas break. It'll be Tulsa basketball. First substitution for UConn. No surprise as Kia Stokes comes in.
You know, it's the little things. Watch 23 here. Mosqueda-Lewis calls Jefferson. Boom. But see, again, no great fight to get through it. There was a lack of communication defensively there. Number 4, Tiana Reed was trying to say to her teammate, you got to go, let's switch. No communication there. That's what led to the wide open 3, but a terrific screen.
Then a 5-count turnover for Tulsa. They've turned the ball over 3 times in the last minute 42, 5 times in all. Kia Nurse looks away. Got a little opening. She does that so well, getting to the basket. She has 5.
I think she changed her mind in the middle of that play. That's talent.
Quick pull-up is missed. The rebound for Kia Stokes. Jefferson. The feed inside. Tough pass for Brianna Stewart to handle. Turnover UConn as Tulsa pushes it.
It was a great look, just too hot.
Good feed to Turner, and then Stokes comes in for her 47th block of the season.
The supreme confidence which Kia Stokes is playing with is really, really fun to see. Her timing is impeccable. Just tremendous instincts on the defensive end of the floor to block shots.
Kia Nurse goes to the bench as Sanaya Chong comes into the game. The bench production, or lack thereof, was a big topic of conversation after the win at Madison Square Garden. As Campbell turns in the lane, can't get it. Saved underneath by Stewart. Violated a cardinal sin of basketball.
Saving it under your own hoop.
Didn't pay for it, though.
And looked like she tried to give it to one of her teammates.
KML doesn't get the roll, and the rebound for Tulsa. Open look, and knocking it down is Erica Wakefield, freshman from Moore, Oklahoma, averaging 4 points a game.
And no one stopped the ball. Nice decision by Wakefield to take the open jumper.
And a foul called on the inside as Kelsey Grovey giving up, I would normally say a few inches, looks like a few feet to Kia Stokes on the inside. Timeout on the floor, 11:52 to go in the first. Best shooting team in the country, UConn at 52%, shooting lights out so far, 71% from the field and 62% from outside the three-point line, Meg, here in the first half.
Well, the inside-outside combinations have been great. The passing has been so crisp. Stewart from inside the post, kicking it out, and there the great ball movement for Mosqueda-Lewis's second 3, and Mariah Jefferson continues her hot shooting from long range. I just love the way they're spreading the basketball around right now.
And we mentioned the numbers for Jefferson, 2 for 2 outside the line here tonight. So that's 11 for her last 14, all in the 5 games since Christmas break now. And you add together all her shots here over these games since the break, Meg, she's now 31 for her last 42.
She should get home more often.
Yeah, go back to, well, she'll be in Texas on Sunday.
That's right.
Little homecoming for Mariah when we're down at SMU Sunday afternoon. We'll have it for you right here on SNY. Jong to trade the inbound, little trouble with it, and a 5 count and a turnover for UConn. That is the 3rd turnover. Well, Gino Auriemma has got this bench in his sights, it would appear. Kia Stokes played 19 minutes against St. John's, but the rest of the bench played 12 minutes. And that bench accounted for only 2 points total against the Red Storm.
That's got to change. But for those fans who've been around for a long time, he plays who's ready to play. He doesn't have a preference one way or the other. He just plays the kids who are ready to play.
Shot clock down to 2. Tulsa comes up short. Well, this is what Gino had to say after the game Sunday at MSG. I like where the bench is. If it was anywhere else, I wouldn't be able to see the game. Just not too crazy about who is sitting on the bench right now. They're hard to figure out.
And it's consistency that he's looking for, and the fans see what they see on game night, but it's practice day in and day out that dictates when you do or do not play.
Mariah Jefferson's 3rd three-pointer of the first half.
And he'll never take her out. She continues to shoot like that. Really settling into her role as the point guard on this team.
Well, you've seen so many combinations of starting 5 and bench players over your years as a player, as a coach, and now as an analyst at UConn games. I think a lot of people just think, well, it's the best 5 and he's only going to play 5 all the way to the Final Four, and that just really hasn't been the case. He even talked a little bit more about it yesterday, saying there have been years where I've played 10. Right. I've had that big of a rotation.
Right. I mean, if you're ready to play, if you're good enough to play, if you got the right mindset to play, as Tuck knocks down a 3, he plays the kids who show that desire and the work ethic every day to play, along with, obviously, basketball ability.
Productivity has a little bit to do with it when you see what Tuck and Jefferson have been doing. Morgan Tuck now with 9 points. Mariah Jefferson with 9. And another turnover into the hands of Stokes. Here's Jefferson. Tuck on her left. On her right is Chong. And a turnover by UConn. They had numbers on the break. They ended up turning ball over. Gabby Williams set to check in next dead ball for UConn.
It's good to see Williams check in. She played sparingly.
2 minutes.
Against St. John's, yeah. So she must have done something right the last couple of days in practice. And a game like this is a perfect opportunity for her to take a step in the right direction.
Campbell drops it off Wakefield with the shot clock winding down. Rebound to Tuck. Here's Chong. Feed inside. Stokes gets hit before the shot. Let's take you back to more good three-point shooting for UConn.
Well, again, Tulsa can't take away the inside and the outside. UConn exploiting the long-range game right now. Everyone on fire, but, you know, the problem for Tulsa is that there's no blue shirts out there contesting those open threes.
UConn 7 of 10 from outside the three-point line. They've made a total of 12 field goals so far. Gabby Williams just into the game. Takes her about 2 seconds to get on the stat sheet and the foul. Well, she's shooting 65% from the field, Meg. When your shots are from high success area like that.
But, you know, to her credit, you got to finish. And as a kid who was a guard in high school, to come in and be converted to a post player as a freshman and to shoot with that sort of accuracy, I think that is pretty outstanding.
It's the outside 5 feet that needs a little work right now. She misses the free throw and the chance for the
She didn't have to worry about that, you know? Just knock down the shots in the post. That's all you got to worry about. They got plenty of other options on offense.
Jordan Holmes into the game. Scores for Tulsa. Oh, there's Williams.
There you go. That was inside 5 feet, right?
That was. On the offensive glass, the putback. Quick 4 for the freshman off the bench. 8.5 to go here in the first half. Webster jumps right in and gets an offensive rebound. 4 points now for Antoinette Webster to lead the team. Lena Mosqueda-Lewis on the bench at the moment. Has knocked down 2 3-pointers so far here today. Williams can't get the roll. Ashley Hughes, sophomore shooter, on the floor now, sitting up in the near corner. From the far corner, it's a 3 knocked down by Jordan Holmes. Top scoring freshman for this Tulsa team, coming off the bench with 5 quick points. Tulsa's come up with a couple of hoops. Now a miss on the other end for UConn. A rebound for Stewart. Kia Nurse just was kind of biding her time, wasn't she? Was cruising and then hit the gas, and she'll go to the free throw line when we come back. Gabby Williams skying, pulling down, and putting back for the Huskies. Back inside the XL Center, first meeting all time between Tulsa and UConn. Let's check back in with Kareth Burke, presented by Samuel Adams. Kareth.
Hey, Eric, for this first time meeting, the welcome wagon hit Tulsa on their flight into Hartford. Coach Matilda Mossman told me a flight attendant noticed Tulsa on the plane and announced to everyone, congratulations on playing UConn and good luck. You're going to need it. Nice laugh on the plane there. And one of the things Mossman is concerned about in this one is the size difference. She said 1 through 5. UConn is the biggest team they faced this season. So she really asked her team to battle for the boards today. And when it comes to facing UConn, the defending national champs, with their loud crowd, Mossman complimented the UConn fans for how much they love the game and support the team. You know, she said Tulsa joined the American from Conference USA to play on a bigger stage. And although it's going to be tough, her team is excited to play the Huskies.
Got to be prepared, Kareth, to take a little trash talk from a flight attendant. Comes with the territory.
That's part of big-time college athletics, right?
UConn turning up the defensive pressure out of the timeout. Tuck turns it into points and a chance to add to it. Blocking foul call.
Great concentration by Tuck. Defensively, Tulsa just didn't get there in time. Right idea. Got to get there a step sooner.
Now, we talked about it right at the top of our telecast. 1 year ago, January 7th, playing Houston, scored a career-high 19 points, but it was the last game of Morgan Tuck's season. There's Gabby Williams. Another offensive rebound and a putback for 2 more.
Great athleticism to elevate and grab the rebound, and then the spin move to finish.
Williams did not score in 2 minutes of play against St. John's. She has 6 points already in 2 minutes of play here against Tulsa.
Well, Stewart and Williams didn't get caught for their lack of communication. 2 players ran at the ball.
3-pointer knocked down by Ashley Clark. Stewart. Gabby Williams, 2 more, and the foul.
How about that ball was falling off of her hand, and she's laughing about it. Tuck could have shot the ball. I like her decision to not. Good defense to knock it away.
Yeah, I think that would be up for debate. I think here, because we're in the hometown building, Morgan will get an assist there, but it looked like it was knocked out of.
Yeah. I don't know if I think she will. On the road, I'm not so sure if she would have.
Batted around, another missed free throw, and here comes Tulsa with the basketball. Now down by 21. Well, the Hurricanes hung tough here, even though they're down big. They've come up with a couple of threes to keep it respectable. Clark making the 3 the last time. They won their American opener against Cincinnati 74-52. Cincinnati turned the ball over 32 times in that game. Now big miss by Tulsa, and Jefferson feeds Gabby Williams. Williams, oh, nice little pass to Morgan Tuck. She rebounds, she finishes, and she dishes.
Absolutely. Well, what? Oh, and a steal here from Jefferson.
To Kia Nurse. Timeout, Tulsa.
Well, one thing Mossman told us before the game, Eric, she said we've got to eliminate layups for Connecticut, not give up any second chance points, and we've got to handle the ball. Well, there they turned it over. Well, here the fast break opportunity, and then the nifty dish. And then Jefferson with the steal. Looked the pass to Tuck, but then fired it over to Nurse.
UConn doing a great job sharing the basketball. You see the turnover numbers. 14 assists now on 19 field goals for the Huskies. They come in averaging 20 assists a game. Remember that number was right at 21 last year. Great indicator of everybody. We've seen Gabby Williams now dish it around.
Don't you think this UConn team is completely different from that first game that we did in Florida back in November?
Against College of Charleston?
Yep. I think they're a completely different team, a much better team. I think they're much more consistent. I think they're better defensively. I think they have a better understanding there as Stewart gets a block and the steal. I think they have a better understanding of who they are and what their roles are.
Morgan Tuck now with 15 first half points for the Huskies. They've stretched it out to a 27-point lead now with 5 minutes to go. Points in the paint. Just saying edge UConn doesn't seem like it does it enough justice. They are attacking the basket, and don't forget the fact they have made 7 3-pointers here today as well. There's a reason why they've already put 49 points on the scoreboard so far in the first half.
Well, Kia Nurse is relentless the way she plays defense, and this is what got her put into the starting lineup. And the foul was called against Hughes for holding her.
Well, Ashley Hughes went down. I don't know if Ashley Hughes lost a tooth or what happened here, but she's coming to the bench. She was grabbing at her mouth. Now she's going down to the end of the bench. What is she holding in her right hand?
Oh, my goodness, I don't know.
Is it a tooth or? I think it's a tooth.
Oh, my.
Look at her.
Look how tough she is. Her tooth broke.
Oh, my goodness, Ashley.
Well, what a stud.
I think they are now looking down. Matilda Mossman is coming out. I think part of the tooth is on the floor. And
oh, my goodness. What a tough kid.
So Mossman came down. They just want to pick it up. This is a head coach doing it all here.
Well, don't forget, she stepped out of coaching years back to raise her 2 sons. So she's a mom. Maybe throw a dental hygienist in there as well.
Tell you what, Ashley Hughes, the sophomore, is taking this a lot better than I would at this moment.
Wow. I know there's always a team doctor, an orthopedic surgeon here. I don't know if there's a dentist.
Gabby Williams, 2 more for Gabby. Well, if you're watching our telecast and you can help Ashley, come on out to the XL Center. Here's Mariah Jefferson. Jefferson on the break. Another unselfish play, but Nurse couldn't finish it. I think Nurse may have been surprised that Jefferson just didn't finish herself. But it's been a very unselfish UConn team here.
I like the patience the guards have shown by getting the ball into the post players.
Williams wanted that one, couldn't get it to go. What a spark for Gabby Williams here that she's provided. Campbell inside, count it, and the foul, a chance to finish off a 3-point play when we come back. Well, Tulsa paying the price here, doing all they can. Rinse and spit, we've heard that all before. 51-20. UConn shooting 70% from the field. They have already scored 51 first-half points and lead here in the first half. And the teamwork and the attention to detail is there in all areas for UConn.
Well, look at Kia Nurse. And, you talk about leadership, but how about people who are willing to follow those leaders? I love how Kia Nurse is looking at these guys, the upperclassmen, saying, all right, guys, I will do anything that you say right now. Gabby Williams listening as well. I just love that example of, sometimes you just need good followers to follow good leadership.
Campbell misses out on the opportunity to finish off the three-point play. Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis back into the game after a long period of time on the bench for UConn. Takes the pass from Stewart for two more.
UConn offensively, Eric, scoring in a lot of different ways, different people getting involved, good ball movement.
17 assists now for UConn. Once again, Mosqueda-Lewis has knocked down 2 3-pointers already here in the first half. One more to tie Diana Taurasi's record, but Mariah Jefferson will attack the basket. And UConn's shooting percentage keeps going up and up and up.
This is as good as we have seen this team play all year, wouldn't you say?
Tulsa, as we talked about at the top of the telecast, struggles with their size, struggles on the glass, but also defending. They're last in the American at 43% in field goal shooting defense. Jefferson couldn't get the first, but she'll have a chance at the free throw line. Let's take you to our drive of the game presented by Ford.
How about that? We've seen that time and again. Looking like she's blowing through an offensive line, protecting that ball like it's a precious commodity. And you know what? To her it is. And it should be treated that way.
She missed her first field goal of the game in that sequence. 12 points now as Courtney Ekmark comes into the game. Morgan Tuck to the bench. Let's check back in with Kareth.
Guys, Ashley Hughes just checked back into the game, and during the timeouts, I wanted to make sure she was okay. Definitely chipped a front tooth right there, but no blood, didn't bite her lip. No tears in her eyes, no distress on her face either. She asked a trainer for a mouth guard so she could keep playing. Eric?
She's tough.
Wow.
She's Oklahoma tough. You know what? She probably said, I don't care if it's a used mouth guard. I don't care if it's someone else's mouth guard. Get me back in the game, and I'm going to take it 3.
Get in, please. Yes! That is so fitting. That shot went in. Give that kid a ton of credit.
Ashley, you are the first member of our all-SNY opponents team.
Yeah.
We just started right now.
Exactly.
You chip a couple of teeth. There's KML off the mark. Stewart knocked it out of bounds. It's Tulsa basketball.
Gerard.
You chip a tooth, then you demand to go back in, and you knock down your first shot attempt, which happens to be a 3. You're an MVP in my book.
Approaching 2 minutes to play here in the first half.
Go to class tomorrow, maybe a different story.
Wakefield for Brady. Turnover, Jefferson as Ekmark trailing, but Jefferson's speed too much for Tulsa to handle.
I've said it time and again, but Jefferson's ability to accelerate with the basketball, starting behind Hughes, and gets ahead of her with the ball, that's just exemplary speed.
59 first half points for UConn. That is a new season high. They scored 58 first half points against UC Davis in the season opener. Brady. Mariah Jefferson with Stokes working on the inside. Now Ekmark. Ekmark, the feed inside to Brianna Stewart. Another one of those games where Brianna Stewart's not going to necessarily put up big numbers. Down just 4 points. She's attempted only 2 shots, but she has 6 first half assists.
And that's why over the years, as many great players as UConn has had, they don't have a lot of players that traditionally lead in scoring because there's too many good players and too many unselfish players.
Rebound to Stewart. Now Mariah Jefferson. Let's see if they can get Mosqueda-Lewis a look here before the end of the half. Here it comes. maybe forced that one a little bit. And a foul called on UConn.
Yeah, win against Mosqueda Lewis there.
Coming up at halftime, Gary and Kara standing by in the studio. They'll take a look at the first half with their analysis. Which player would make the best TV analyst? Well, Meg is going to be in this position. She's like a Supreme Court justice. She's never leaving, so it's only a hypothetical. But that's coming up at halftime.
Matter of time before one of these young whippersnappers takes my job.
Hughes launches another three. She thought she had it. Rebound to Stewart, and that is the end of a very productive first half for the UConn Huskies. They put 61 points on the board in the first half and lead 61-28 over Tulsa. UConn sharing the ball beautifully in that first half. They shot just under 70% from the field. Made 2/3 of their field goal attempts. Here's the head coach, Gino Auriemma, with Karen.
Gino, every one of your bench players checked in for this first half, led by Gabby Williams. What did you get from your bench?
Well, especially Gabby. I think, she got a lot of energy down the other end. All of a sudden, we got a lot of offensive rebounds, a lot of activity in the lane. Before that, we weren't really getting much. It was all just stand there and shoot threes, which is fine when they're going in. But, Gabby just showed a lot of what she can do. And in that first half, when she gets it going, boy, she's really fun to watch.
Thank you, Gino. It's 10 points for Gabby Williams in this first half. Gino, pleased, asked the bench to do more, and they provided. UConn has a 61-28 lead here on a cold day in Hartford. We're going to have the halftime reports coming up in just a moment.
UConn women's basketball on SNY is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. By Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts Dark Roast is here. Bold start, smooth finish, never bitter. America runs on Dunkin'. And by Ford. For great deals on Ford cars, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers, visit TriStateFord.com. Be sure to check out the UConn men's hockey team in their first season in Hockey East. You can get your tickets right now at UConnTickets.com and check them out here at their Hartford home, the XL Center. First half stats presented by Bob's Discount Furniture. We will go in order here, but the bottom line is the interesting one overall. Field goal shooting off the charts for UConn. 18 assists for UConn on 25 field goals. And the turnovers, 13 for Tulsa, leading to 25 UConn points. And Morgan Tuck, once again, you talked about it at the very top of the telecast, Meg, how she is really climbing, and she had another strong first half.
Well, it's just her consistency of late. She just continues to not only play well, but she's elevating her game because there's so many different ways that she can beat you. Running well on the break and can finish, but get her the ball in the low post, the nice reverse layup. She takes advantage and punishes you in the lane, but then she can also knock down the long-range shot. I love when she gets in traffic, focused, finishes, and gets fouled.
Well, we knew coming into this game that Tulsa struggled on the boards. They hung tough on the boards compared to their season numbers, but defending teams has been an issue. And when you take a look at these numbers and the shooting numbers, 8 of 10 for Tuck, 3 of 3 for Jefferson outside the three-point line. Williams off the bench, 5 of 7 from the field. UConn outstanding offensively in the first half. Let's hear from Tulsa's head coach, Matilda Mossman, standing by with Kareth.
Well, Coach, we saw some toughness from your team in the first half. Ashley Hughes, her chipped tooth. How did you ask your team to get even tougher for the second?
Well, I think just feed off Ashley Hughes. If she can go to the floor and lose a tooth and wants to come back into the game, I think the rest of our team needs to feed off that.
You said you wanted your team to have that great effort tonight. Are you pleased with what they've accomplished so far?
Yeah, I'm pleased with the effort. We just don't match up very well, and that's pretty obvious. But I think their pressure has bothered us a little more than I thought it might. But, we've just got to handle their pressure, and we've got to go attack on offense.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Well, I think I would be motivated by someone who goes to the deck, loses, I think she lost the 2 front teeth, part of each of those 2 front teeth, and asked to get back into the game, knocks down the three-pointer, and now the mouth guard, I think, is going to be a regular part of the ensemble for Ashley Hughes.
for, I'd say for the near future and perhaps longer.
And
But
Hughes
I just love her toughness.
Hughes will get a second half start here for Tulsa. And you touched on it before that Coach Mossman wanted to see more fight out of her team. So I think Ashley Hughes provided some. Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis was 2 of 6 from the field in the first half, outside the three-point line, to be clear. 2 of 7 overall. UConn with their original starting 5 out there to start the second half.
And with that being said, as UConn commits this foul, there'll be 2 free throws coming up. But for UConn to score 61 points, and Mosqueda-Lewis has 6, Brianna Stewart has 4. You know, that's good. Gino and Chris and the staff have to feel pretty good at the way what they've done offensively. Now, Stewart only 4 points, but 6 assists and a block and a steal.
And 4 rebounds.
Yeah, I just love the way they're spreading it around. There's not one person you can stop on this team, and that's got to make Gino feel good.
Now a little pressure from Tulsa, handled by UConn. Tuck turns and finds Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis. Tuck on the offensive glass, a putback for 2 more. 19 points for Morgan Tuck.
See, Tulsa being undersized, it's not enough to stand there. You've got to initiate contact, box out, and then that'll be an over the top on Tuck.
19 points is the number she had last January 7th against Houston. Tuck leading the way for UConn. 15 for Jefferson. 10 for Williams off the bench. Mosqueda-Lewis will try again. And she has tied Diana Taurasi's all-time record for three-pointers made here at the University of Connecticut. Number 318 for KML.
It's like a layup for her.
And there's Jefferson with the steal. Knocks it away from Hughes. She'll take it in. 17 now for Mariah. She had 16 points, 6 assists, just 1 turnover against St. John's. She has 17 points, 2 assists, no turnovers against Tulsa.
The truth is, for Tulsa, playing in Conference USA the past 9 seasons, and this is their first in the American, they've never played anyone with defense like Connecticut.
Clark finds a way to beat the defense. She's in the double figures now for 10.
Really nice take by Clark to get into traffic and score over Brianna Stewart.
Mosqueda-Lewis has tied the record. Let's see how long UConn waits to see if she can break the record. Nice look. Stewart really sharing the basketball beautifully here tonight. Morgan Tuck now with 21.
Remember how last year Stephanie Dolson just became an outstanding passer? She was such a great passer her senior year. I see Brianna Stewart developing into an unbelievable passer as well. I have a feeling Gino may want her to shoot a bit too. But what a threat offensively, and she's a threat to score and to pass.
I don't think you'll have to ask Brianna to shoot at all. Kia Nurse into double figures. She knocks down the three-pointer. 12 points for Nurse. 73 on the board, 3 minutes into the second half. Season high for UConn was 102 against UC Davis in the opener. There's a block from Stewart. And a rebound for Mosqueda-Lewis. Nurse open again. Now she's got the stroke right now. You can just see it coming off her hand. Beautiful rotation, knocks it down. 15 points now for Kia Nurse.
For Matilda Mossman to want her team to exert more effort and play harder and battle, all they have to do is maybe watch the film of the way Connecticut plays. Regardless of the score, they play hard all the time, and there's something to be learned.
Stewart's going to get, nope. Before the block, it's Ashley Clark stepping out of bounds. So the Huskies will take over. Well, that's one thing that's been consistent. We've talked about now for a couple of years. They never look at the scoreboard. If you're on the floor, you're expected to play one way. There's Jefferson streaking to the basket, and a beautiful finish by Moriah Jefferson.
Just to complete that shot, to get the shot off, the way her body was moving shows, even though the slight build, the tremendous upper body strength.
Moriah Jefferson will slow things down. Looks to Gino Auriemma. Now Stewart on the drive with the finish.
But the way she split the defense to avoid the offensive foul. Savvy play by the junior.
6 points to go along with those 7 assists. 8 assists now for Stewart officially, which is a new career high. Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis, 3-18 and counting from outside the three-point line, sharing the top spot for the moment with Diana Taurasi. UConn has made their last 8 field goals. They are 8 of 9 from the field here to start the second half. Already 80 points on the board for the Huskies, who have outscored Tulsa 19-4 since halftime. And Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis and Brianna Stewart will watch from the bench for a while. Courtney Ekmark is into the game. Sanaya Chong into the game. Kia Stokes, Gabby Williams all into the game here for UConn. I think Stokes got a piece of that one as it comes down to Ekmark. Moriah Jefferson, the only member of the starting 5 who stays out there for the Huskies.
I think they need Moriah in there, you know, just for sort of some leadership and to keep the offense going. You see a turnover there by Ekmark.
And the finish on the other end, I think. Got to check with the brain trust here. First points off turnovers tonight for Tulsa right there after UConn had outscored them 25-zip in the first half.
Nice job by Erica Wakefield to steal that ball and get those first points off turnovers.
Wakefield now with 4.
But this is where the bench has to come in, like Gino talked about. If they come in and don't put in a good effort, that man is not going to be happy regardless of the score.
Booted out of bounds. There'll be UConn basketball when we come. UConn ready to put it back into play here at the XL Center. The Huskies in control. 12-1 on the season, 2-0 in the American. They led 61-28 at halftime. Rolling here in the second half. Kia Nurse has come into the game for Moriah Jefferson. 3 freshmen on the floor right now for UConn with Ekmark, Williams, and Nurse. Senior and a sophomore, Stokes and Chong.
A little impatience, too quick there by Williams. She got lucky the ball went off of Tulsa to keep it UConn ball.
Now Nurse. Williams, feed inside Stokes.
It was a good catch in traffic, just couldn't finish.
Six minutes gone by here in the second half. The return to Clark and a foul called on UConn. So a couple of free throws coming up gives us a chance to bring you tonight's UConn trivia question presented by Mercedes-Benz. Which player holds the UConn records for most rebounds? The record for most rebounds by a freshman and by a senior. No, it's records plural. I should never question our graphics department.
Never.
We'll have the answer coming up for you in just a little bit.
I don't get the question. So it's the same person.
I messed it up. That's why.
The same person led when they were a freshman and then did so as a senior? Is that what that means? Okay.
That is correct. Do you have an answer yet?
I got 2 possibilities.
Okay. Sanaya Chong to Kia Nurse. A couple turnovers here for UConn as Clark jumps inside. Nice finish by Clark. Ashley Clark Jr. from Midwest City, Oklahoma, 3-year starter for this Tulsa team. Stokes.
Don't forget, Stokes hit a 3.
Are you kidding me? I don't think she'd let anybody forget that.
I wouldn't.
I love Kia Nurse diving on the fall for the floor for the loose ball, but then it's a three-pointer by Kelsey Grovey, her first point. She's third on the team in scoring at better than 10 points a game.
It's nice to see, you know, Tulsa's got to keep fighting, keep working on their game.
Well, the same could be said for UConn
no
here.
No question about it.
As you're going with 4 reserves and 1 starter and Nurse. Tulsa's doing some good things here, and UConn's got to figure it out with this group.
Well, and that's the problem. Gino's going to say, okay, I put you guys in, and Tulsa scored on like 4 straight possessions. That's a problem.
That's a 9-0 run, and you're exactly right. 4 for their last 4 from the field. Williams is fouled. 12:18 to go here in the second half. This is going to be something that you're not going to see Gino call a timeout and get the team together. It's one of those figure it out kind of moments. And we haven't seen this combination of 5 players on the court at the same time this year. So a little bit of a chemistry experiment here.
Yeah, it is. It's a big experiment because, you know, you got Kia Nurse. You got Kia Stokes is the leader out there, and she's a little quiet. You know, you look at all the starters are on the bench, and they earned their break there next to Chris Daly. But there's 3 freshmen, and then you got Chong and Stokes. It's an unlikely group, but if they want to play, they have to find a way to make it work.
I liked how those starters were coaching up the free throw shooting for Gabby Williams. She made the second. Kia Stokes for Sanaya Chong. Inside of 12 to play here at the XL Center. UConn back into American play. They were 18-0 in conference last year. Average margin of victory was better than 37 points a game. Ekmark, open look for a 3, and she knocks it down.
Well, she has come in known as a shooter. Homeschooled her senior year and then got hurt. That stress reaction, nice to see her knock down a shot.
Ooh.
How about that shot?
Jordan Holmes, who knocked down a couple of 3-pointers in the first half, gets a tough one on the run.
Yeah, gets knocked down and knocks the shot down. Tough play. Nurse is saying, set a screen.
Back out, tipped into the backcourt. Shot clock does not reset, inside of 10 now. Chong, pretty strong take, just wouldn't go down for her. She got bumped, and no foul is called. They'll stay out of bounds off of UConn. Tulsa ball when we come back with UConn in control. Well, you can try.
And boy, has he tried. He doesn't have a lot of gray hair at 60, but...
That's coming up on an all-new Gino Auriemma show right after postgame and only on SNY. Well, the
got
banners,
a lot of banners. Not a lot of gray, but a lot of banners.
Themselves. Well, during that media timeout, a chance to talk to this group dominated by bench players here for UConn. Kia Nurse, the only starter out there right now for the Huskies, who are firmly in control here against TU.
Nice D by Kia Stokes.
Clark with the rebound, rejected by Stokes. Nurse tracks it down for the Huskies.
This is Nurse's chance to really establish her leadership abilities with this younger group.
Courtney Ekmark makes another 3-pointer. First 2 3-pointers of her UConn career. Had missed her first 3 attempts from outside the arc.
Smooth stroke, too.
Clark rejected by Stokes, almost kept it in play. Bill Russell style for all you out there who are of a certain age. Let's check back in with Kareth.
Eric and Meg, you guys were talking about Kia Nurse a moment ago. Her brother Darnell won a gold medal Monday night with Team Canada in the World Juniors Championship game against Russia. So Canada won 5-4, and Darnell was named Canada's Player of the Game. Kia told me she watched that game live at her dorm room with some roommates looking on. Now, she had to explain some of the hockey basics to them, like what is a power play. But she told me she was overflowing with pride when Darnell and Team Canada won. So in the very athletic Nurse family, Kia has yet to earn a gold medal. And I asked her, is there any playful jealousy? And she said her brother is rubbing it in a little, but she added so kindly, so sweetly, that hockey is our national sport, so we're expected to win gold. So it's all about country for Kia and Darnell Nurse. Eric?
Well, I'll tell you what, Darnell, I watched that game and World Junior Championship. If you're a hockey fan, it's great to watch because it's Stanley Cup intensity for junior players.
That's unbelievable.
And in Canada, like Gareth was mentioning, it's right up there with the Stanley Cup, just behind it. And Darnell was unbelievable. He never left the ice. They iced the puck a bunch of times, so he couldn't leave the ice. That's probably something else that he had tried to explain to her teammates, and at that point they were probably looking at their phones. Yeah, but there's Gabby Williams reading it beautifully and in for an easy 2. She had a good first half with 10 points and adds to it here in the second.
Better defensive intensity by this group the last couple possessions.
And a
late
foul
whistle
called on Kia Stokes.
Kia doesn't agree, nor do many of the fans here, but the nice anticipation steal by Williams and the easy left-handed finish. Let's see, Eric, what do we got here? I think it's legit foul. But these refs have let a lot of physical activity go, a lot of bumping, and I think it's been a well-played game. There's been contact, but certainly not like the East Carolina game, the St. John's game. Very different types of contact, much more physical, those games.
All right, Jefferson back into the game for the Huskies with Sanaya Chong, Gabby Williams, Courtney Ekmark, and Kia Stokes. And an illegal screen called on Gabby Williams.
And, you know, that is more Mariah Jefferson's fault because she was moving too quickly. You got to let your teammate set that screen, get set, then you got to run your guy into her. Moving a little too quickly.
Ashley Hughes. Three-pointer on the way. Batted out by Erica Wakefield. And a foul called on Mariah Jefferson. Five team fouls now on UConn. This is the first personal on Mariah. No one with more than one foul for the Huskies in this game.
I think these refs want to get home after the game. They haven't called much.
Turning and scoring is Caden Brady, senior for this Golden Hurricane team. Only two seniors on this squad, Turner and Brady. Jefferson, another three-pointer for Mariah. She goes over the 20-point mark.
She's just playing with so much confidence right now. It's just oozing out of her pores.
22 points for Mariah Jefferson. 8 of 9 from the field. 4 for 4 from outside the three-point line. I got to update the math during the break, but it's going to involve a calculator, and that opportunity comes now. I'm going to add up Mariah's numbers over the last 5 games, and they're off the charts impressive for the junior, getting ready for a Texas homecoming next time out. Impressive showing offensively for the Huskies, shooting 67%, I beg your pardon, from the field here in the game as we take a look at Como's Court Vision classes in session, Meg.
You know, sometimes turnovers get attributed to players. Watch this. When Chong gets the ball, she chucks it in to Kia Stokes. But what Stokes doesn't know, she's doing a good job posting up her player. If you look at the top of your screen, Gabby Williams' guy is down below, right? Well, that's not Stokes' fault. Chong has to see that, throw the pump fake, and then throw it to Gabby Williams, who's wide open at the top of the key.
Gabby Williams on the floor here for UConn with Courtney Ekmark, Kia Stokes, Sanaya Chong, and Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis back onto the floor here for the Huskies. As we're ready to restart. Approaching 7 minutes to go here in the second half. UConn 10 points away from matching their season high in points, coming a game after their season low in scoring. They scored 70 in the win against St. John's. Groby defended by Williams. Hughes steps back. Gabby Williams getting those long arms out there to help corral that rebound for the Huskies.
And the elevation, and then the heads-up tip.
And a turnover. Holmes comes in. She's had a good game here for Tulsa. She has a new career high, 12 points for the freshman from Austin, Texas.
And that was just, as you said, a tremendous defensive play by Holmes, but, just a sloppy pass from Chong to Ekmark. That's the stuff, that in this program, like it or not, it's unacceptable. Nice cut by Chong. They couldn't find her.
2 on the way for Mosqueda Lewis. Rebound to Brady. Inside of 6 to go. Three-pointer tracked down by Gabby Williams.
Yeah, good box out by Williams and hustle for the ball.
6 rebounds now to go along with her 13 points. Mosqueda Lewis. Turnover. Brady to Holmes, and an offensive foul called on Jordan Holmes. Now the answer to tonight's trivia question presented by Mercedes-Benz. Let's make sure I get the question right. Which player holds the UConn records for most rebounds by a freshman and by a senior?
There you go, Tina Charles.
296 as a freshman, 372 her senior year.
Some gaudy numbers by Tina.
Mosqueda Lewis gets in deep on the post up. The turnaround. We think of her so much as an outside threat, an elite three-point shooter, but she can be crafty. She can get things done inside the three-point arc.
Yeah, she's so much more than just a three-point shooter. I love how she has worked at her game and diversified her game. Posting up, check this out, the patience, the dribble, feeling the defense on the left side, takes her a little more left, spins back right. Incredibly talented basketball player who has also become just as good as she is a shooter, she's an almost better passer.
Heat check.
Wow.
But Jordan Holmes is hot.
How about that long-range bomb from Jordan Holmes?
15 points now for Holmes. She is 3 for 5 outside the three-point line.
And how about she came into this game with 3 threes made all season.
Mosqueda Lewis has had trouble holding on to the basketball. Tulsa all over her. Chong with the finish. First points of the game for Sanaya.
Nice finish by Sanaya with the left while she was getting bumped.
Stokes there defensively. Saw that one coming, didn't you?
Oh, gosh. She just feels like nobody can get a shot off on her. And that's just a presence and a mentality down there.
Timeout being called to get some more substitutes in the game for UConn. We'll take the timeout as well. Gary, I'd say big-time tease.
That is a big-time tease.
All right, we'll stick around for the postgame as always, coming up in 3:45-ish from now. Turnover out of the timeout. You saw Kalina Mosqueda Lewis back on the bench. There's block number 6 of the game for Kia Stokes. 8 in all for UConn as a team tonight.
You know, Kia Stokes, as I said a moment ago, just feels impenetrable on that back line. No one is going to get a shot off in front of her.
2 blocks for Brianna Stewart tonight as well. Stewart only played 21 minutes tonight, had 6 points on 3 of 3 shooting, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks. 99 blocks now on the season for UConn. Remember, they had 324 last year. Tierney Lawler into the game. Brianna Polito will come in next dead ball. Back behind the play. The finish by Brady. And now Gino Auriemma wants to get Polito into the game. This will fully empty the bench for UConn. Be with us on Sunday as the second-ranked Huskies will be on the road. We'll be in Dallas, second game this year against SMU. Our coverage begins Sunday at 2:30 only on SNY. It's just back a couple of days after Christmas that UConn beat SMU 96-45. So it was a 51-point win over East Carolina, a 51-point win over SMU. Right now, the advantage is not 51. Less than 2:40 to play. That's a 2 for Jordan Holmes. I think Jordan Holmes has stepped up to the challenge of taking on the #2 team in the country, the two-time defending national champs.
Yeah, definitely got to be something that Mossman and her coaching staff will be very happy to see the way her team has competed here late in this game.
Lost out of bounds will be Tulsa basketball. Well, this is a game, and Gary and Kara touched on it, and we've talked about it as we've gone along. Things have come so easily offensively for UConn here today. The shooting's down to 66%, but they were making shots right from the very start. So we saw the regulars go to the bench pretty early here in this game. Been a little sloppy with this second unit out there with mostly reserves over the last 10 minutes or so.
And in fairness, you know, that's a lot. 10 minutes is a long time. People don't realize how long that is. That's a lot of time to put together out there with groups of players who aren't used to playing that much or playing that much together with those particular groups.
Ekmark can't get it. Well, with about 90 seconds to go here, what did you think about the performance from the starting five here tonight?
I thought the starting five was spectacular. I thought they were unselfish. I think they're just playing with a different confidence and presence about them that we didn't see several weeks back, a month ago. I think the coaching staff will have to be pretty happy with the effort.
Gary and Kara standing by for People's United Bank postgame show after we say goodbye here from Hartford. Gabby Williams can't get that one to go here in the final minute. Was it your turn to warm up our cars here after the game? I took care of Florida, right?
Yeah, right. Although it was cold enough down there.
UConn will improve to 13-1 on the season. They will stretch their winning streak to 12 games. Clark knocks down a three-pointer, 15 points now for her. And then quick other field goal for Tulsa. Trying to keep the score respectable here. They've been able to do that here over the last few minutes. UConn's largest lead was 48 points less than 5 minutes into the second half. And that's about the time that the regulars spent more time on the bench. 15 points for Gabby Williams. That's new career high.
And a pretty feed from Courtney Ekmark.
Gabby had scored 14 against DePaul and Bridgeport. She gets 15 off the bench here today for UConn. It's an easy win for the Huskies. They don't get to the century mark. They don't need to. 98-60 the final for UConn over Tulsa. Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis with 3 3-pointers to tie Diana Taurasi. So we take a look at our People's United Bank players of the game, Mariah Jefferson and Morgan Tuck. We did do the math. Over the last 5 games, Mariah shooting 75.5% from the field, 81% from outside the three-point line. Doing great since being in Texas, and she gets to go back to Texas, sharing the honors with our player of the game status with Morgan Tuck, 21 points for Tuck.
And so much of it's confidence too, Eric. You know, she's on a little roll, and it's just going to snowball. And Gino is hoping she will continue.
98-60 the final. Let's hear what Gino has to say about this win. He's standing by with Kareth.
Gino, this was an excellent shooting night for your team, and when it comes to three-point shooting, how much of that should be part of your team's identity?
Well, I think sometimes you can get caught up in, just taking an easy way out and shooting too many of them. I've always thought that if we got about 20 a game, because usually you get about 60 possessions, 60 shots in the mid-60s. If you get 20, I don't know how many we took tonight, but that's probably a good number on most nights. Some nights you might get less, but I think sometimes if you just come down and that's the only thing you're looking for, I don't know that that's the best way to win championships at the end of the year.
It was 22, I believe. Mariah Jefferson, 4 for 4. She's had some great shooting performances. Has she made an adjustment or a change in her game that's enabling her to have these performances?
Yeah, I don't think there's any particular adjustment physically with her shooting the ball. I think probably mentally the adjustment has been to wanting to shoot it and having confidence in shooting it. That's for a shooter. Once you know you can make them, then it's just having the confidence to take the shot and not should I not, and then not worrying about if you just missed the last one. So if you miss 2 in a row, well, I'm not going to shoot anymore. So if you just stay away from those kinds of thoughts and you're a pretty good shooter like she is, and right now her confidence is sky high.
What kind of teacher has she been for the other guards?
Well, some of our guards are unteachable, so I want to blame that on Mariah. But we're getting there. She's trying really, really hard, and little by little, they're starting to pick things up. It's an uphill battle with some of these guys, but Mariah's been great with all that stuff.
Thank you, Gino. Back to you, Eric.
We're out of time, Kareth. You can't name names. Maybe we'll take care of that at SMU. Can't find a lot of fault with this performance by UConn here tonight. They win at 98-60. Back with a final word here at the XL before the postgame show after this.